Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to get singles for all your Force of Will and other trading card games, as well as these amazing patrons. Thank you for your support. Class is in session. Hey there, Rulers. DMO73 here, bringing you the deck profile for the token or counters, +1/+1 counters version of Oborozuki that we played earlier this week on Foul Wednesday. Just wanted to kind of go into the details of the thought process of the deck. Before we get into it, just a reminder that if you want to get into the Discord server, we're getting revamped on the Discord for Ruler School. You can check that link down below, as well as if you're still looking for product for Epic of the Dragon Lords, you can go ahead and click down below for the boxes from Odyssey Games. They still have boxes in stock at just $85 a piece. So let's jump in. Oborozuki, Star Sword Visionary, aka Tagusa, you are super competent. We'll get into why that is in a minute. So to Oborozuki, Star Sword Visionary, obviously we're revealing the top card of our deck to get those +1/+1 counters on Oborozuki, and then kind of once per turn moving them to where we want. Oborozuki's real powerhouse comes from, in my opinion, the fact that those +1/+1s that sit on her turn into final battles at instant speed later, which is where her stats come from, especially since as a base stat for 2, she's a 12/12, and then those +1/+1s just make her even bigger. And then if you really need to, you can burn them to kind of really mess with your opponent's board state, disrupt their plays, which is excellent. Some base-wise, we're playing 4 Heaven's Rift for black-white, obviously, 2 Epic Stone of the Stars for some additional ways to get +1/+1s, because this deck is primarily white, so we don't care about playing white stones, and then 4 copies of Gusting Skies for those splash green cards that we're playing. Going into the deck, we're playing 3 Tagusas. I honestly think that we could probably move this up to 4 based on maybe going down to only 2 Awakening of the Winged Lord. This guy puts in so much work in this deck, being able to set up really awesome Oborozuki reveals while also drawing cards. This deck has a little bit of draw power, but not a ton. So this is a really helpful piece. Plus, it can be big very quickly, especially in the early game when you're just kind of moving those +1/+1 counters to it. I think the highlight of the match that we played on Foul Wednesday had Tagusa being on 11/11, just based on counters. So you can get a lot of work there. We're playing 4 Rhea. Obviously, she combos really, really well with this deck, both on her regular side and her spell side. Same with Flute. Barrier Ramp is amazing. You can get to playing really big bodies really, really quickly. 4 copies of Endless Starlight. You get so much advantage off of this card, being able to shoot stuff. One thing that's really nice is you can use it on your own Flute if you really need to get to those +1/+1 counters, which is nice because Flute won't kill herself. There are other resonators that pretty much most resonators, this is going to be pay 1, kill it, because they'll just deal damage equal to their defense. So things like Flute being able to manipulate those +1/+1s by not having to worry about shooting herself is very, very nice. 3 copies of Ominous Moon, the Lunar Sword. This card is insane. We have +1/+1 counters to spare because it's from any entity. So we can put them on stones, we can put them on additions, and you can remove them from where you need to get unchaseable spot removal, especially against a J Ruler, which is awesome. 2 copies of Awakening of the Winged Lord. We're playing these because we have a couple of cards that are in that lineup that are really, really nice, particularly things like Altisync Secret Hideout, and Starlit Canopy, Spirit of the Star. The things that we're wanting to do is find ways to get ourselves instant speed +1/+1 counters on our opponent's turn if we have a Rhea. So that's a really good way for you to disrupt your opponent's flow. And Awakening of the Winged Lord is a really, really easy way to do that. It's also nice because it can turn on Rhea or Oborozuki to just be an OTK by recovering her if you really need to. Couple copies of Suya, Cursed Swan of the Star. Just a couple, just as another early game body that gets us +1/+1 counters and forces a sack. And then later, if they kill them, we just have discard, which is nice. Helps you set up for making sure that your stuff is protected or push through for lethal, or be able to set up a situation where you force your opponent's hand to be awkward, hit them with an Oborozuki board wipe, and you lock your opponent out of the game. 3 Altisync Secret Hideout. Might consider going down to 2. This card is absolutely nuts, especially if you want to protect the Oborozuki. Having this on field with Oborozuki just sitting there with like 18, 19 counters tells your opponent, like, I hope you don't enjoy playing Resonators or even Jade Rulers, because you're going to have to do a lot of work to be able to do it, to get through this into killing Oborozuki. And even then, after you do that, I'm still going to probably wipe your board before you actually kill her. 3 Starlit Canopy, because it's a helpful draw engine, as well as a permanent removal source, which is excellent, because it hits any entity as well, which is really nice. Spirit of the Star is another great way to get those instant speed +1/+1 counters onto Rhea. Grace of the Star is a great rapid growth that also, it only works for Resonators, but it can give that Eternal and Barrier if there's a +1/+1 counter on it, which makes it really, really nice. Just for fun, we were playing a couple Star Dragons. This body is just kind of a backup win condition, just to have that threatening body, because there's going to be times where you just hit 5 entities with it. We're not trying to turbo it out, but we're only playing 2. And sometimes you just land it, and then it sticks and you kill your opponent with it. 2 copies of Elixir's Love, primarily as ways to be able to bring back things like Flute or Rhea, because technically while they're in the graveyard, they are chance. So that's really, really nice. And then just as a meme, we were playing a single copy of Defense Stance. Really, this could just be probably another copy of Grace of the Star or something else in its place, but we wanted to play it just for the fun of it, because it's another thing that we could grab cutely off of Awakening of the Winged Lord. So there you have it. That is the deck. Hope you guys liked it. Again, check out those links down below for new product, as well as getting into our Discord. If you guys have a different take on Oborozuki, we'd love to hear about it in that comment section down below. Be sure to like and subscribe as always. And until next time, this is DMO73 saying, class dismissed.